astonishing. I never knew that there were man-made islands from 600, 1000 BC in the lakes of Scotland, one of them being here. This is in the northern area of Scotland, and we see a lot of these man-made islands in the middle of the lakes. I did pin one of them here. Let me go back to them, and here we are. You can see all these lakes here. Let's see. Loch Duna, yes. There we go. I can imagine that the terrain has changed in 2,000 to 3,000 years. You can even see it from the air. This is it right here. That's another man-made island right there. And I don't know, this seems to be quite common, these lakes. Where's Dunan? There it is right there. I have been to Scotland. I've been to Turnberry, which is on the west coast facing Ireland. And here we have some more examples of them. Aerial images of Neolithic islets include number 1, Arnish, Burgastale. Where's this? This number 3 is Eileen Dom Nuil. Number 4 is Loch Duna. We just saw that before. Number 5, Loch An Dunain, and 6, Langebat. Duna we saw before. Loch Duna is right there. Again, let's look at it from the sky, from Google Earth. And let's see why they were built. The Neolithic people made fake islands more than 5,600 years ago. This is on Life Science by Laura Gagel, Associate Editor, today's article. And as we saw on Google Earth, we saw views of various lakes in Scotland, one of them being Borgastale, another Dunan, and various others. Islets that were clearly human-made with boulders. Hundreds of tiny islands around Scotland did not arise naturally. They're fakes, and they were constructed out of boulders, clay, and timbers by Neolithic people about 5,600 years ago. This is what a new study finds. Now we're talking about 3,600 BC. Now, researchers have known about these artificial islands, known as crannogs, for decades. Crannogs. Many archaeologists thought that the crannogs were made more recently in the Iron Age, about 2,800 years ago. The new finding not only shows that these crannogs are much older than previously thought, but also that they were likely special locations for Neolithic people, according to nearby pottery fragments found by modern divers. And the researchers wrote in their study, initially, many researchers thought that Scotland's crannogs were built around 800 BC and reused until post-medieval times up to about the 1700s. But in the 1980s, hints began to emerge that some of these islands were made much earlier. In addition, in 2012, Chris Murray, a former Royal Navy diver, found well-preserved Neolithic pots on the lake floor near some of these islands, and he alerted a local museum about his discovery. To investigate, Two UK archaeologists, Duncan Garrow from the University of Reading, that's about an hour's train ride west from London, and Fraser Sturt from the University of Southampton, teamed up in 2016 and 2017 to take a comprehensive look at several cranogs in the Outer Hebrides. The Hebrides are the islands north in Scotland. Now, an artificial island hotspot off the coast of northern Scotland. In particular, they looked at islets in three lakes, Loch Arnish, Loch Borgestale, and Loch Langebat. According to the radiocarbon dating, 4 of the cranogs were created between 3640 BC and 3360 BC. That's what the researchers found. Other evidence, including ground and underwater surveys, paleo-environmental coring and excavation, supported the idea that these particular islets dated to the Neolithic. Archaeologists have yet to find any Neolithic structures on the island, and they said more excavations were needed. But divers found dozens of Neolithic pottery fragments, some of them burnt, around the islands at Burgestall and Langebat, the researchers said. These pots were likely dropped into the water intentionally, possibly for a ritual, as what the researchers have stated. Each of the islets is fairly small, measuring about 33 feet across. The islet in Loch Burgestall even had a stone causeway connecting it to the mainland. And though it undoubtedly looked a lot of work to make these cranogs, these structures were clearly important to ancient people, as there are 570 known of these things in Scotland alone. There are more than in Ireland. There are more in Ireland, researchers noted. So far, just 10% of the cranogs in Scotland have been radiocarbon dated, meaning that there may be more ancient cranogs than these newfound Neolithic ones, researchers stated. The study was published online June 12th, just a few days ago, in the journal Antiquity. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.